Hi guys, how's it going? Thanks for joining me again on this Campervan maintenance series. Got the 2014 Mercedes Sprinter, and today as part of its maintenance to try and improve first and second gear selection and reverse, I'm going to be replacing the gear linkage cables. So yeah, stick around and we'll see how we get on with that. Okay, so these are what we're going to be replacing. It's this cable here, this grommet that goes down into this cable here, and the one at the back there that's got a green surround, a green shroud on a black rubber grommet, that's linked to a cable. They go down under the centre console of the van, out this side and through the floor here. So they're both there, you can see them better there. I've already removed a sponge bung for sound deadening, I presume, more than anything, probably a bit of insulation, so that's come out. And I've also pulled away this rubber part, so I've pulled that out of the van. It just literally clips in, so from inside the van you just get a good hold of it, wiggle it, and it unclips out of the metal of the van. So that was the first thing to do once the lower dash is removed. Next we're going to be removing these two bolts that hold the whole gear lever mechanism in place. So they're 13mm or 1/2 inch. There's one this side and also one this side. They just need removing, so then the whole gear lever mechanism can be removed to get to the cables. There's one. I'd already loosened these off just so it's easier holding the camera and removing them. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, with those two bolts removed, the whole mechanism just comes away from the body of the van itself, and now we can get to this and this just to prise them off and remove those from the gear mechanism. Okay, so I'm just using a spanner now, any size. This is a 17, but I don't think it matters what you use, just to pry the gear linkage cable off of the lug that holds it on. There we go, there's one. The other one's just down here, and there's two. That's quite straightforward. And then right down, holding these cables to the actual gear mechanism itself, gear lever mechanism, there's these two metal retaining clips that are keeping the cables attached to the mechanism. So just with your 17mm spanner or whatever you've got, screwdriver, just pop those in there and that will release those. There we go. Okay, so there's one on each cable, one on the side here as well. So just pop those in. Oh, there we go, that's got those out. There's the other one. So put those to one side, keep those safe, and then the gear cables will just literally pop out of the gear mechanism. There we go, and that's free. So pop that to one side and we'll sort out getting these cables out through the van, or pulling them up through the van once we've been underneath and disconnected them from the gearbox end. Okay, so you can see now I'm working under the van. I'm at the gearbox end, so these are located just past the front wheels, slightly to the near side of the van, but that's what we're looking to take off, just there. So I'm going to do that now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to do it with the spanner, the same as I did inside the van. Okay, so I've popped one of the cables off. I've just got the other one to do now, but it also needed this bolt removing here which is a star bolt, but I managed to get a small socket on it, standard socket, and undo that, so then this can move forward and release the actual cables. So yeah, I might have to get a bit more WD-40 on them, give them a bit more of a tug to release those. Okay, so that's one out. It did take a lot of prizing out, a lot more than I thought it would. But so, one down, one to go. Okay, so that's both cables off. They were difficult to get out of these bits here, that's for sure. Took a little bit of leverage with a screwdriver, but they're out, and you can see the two bits there that the new cables are going onto. So let's get them fed through from the inside. They have to come through from the inside out because of the grommet that connects them to the van floor. So let's get that done now. Right, we're back in the van. There's our cables sticking out, and here they are in the rubber grommet in the floor. There's one. There's two. Let's bring them up. And down below. There we go. There we are, we're out. Okay, brilliant. So that's the old set out. Just need to get the new set back in place now. Going to feed the new cables through, or replacement cables through. There we go, they're in there. I'm just going to get these bits through here. Ready to go into the gear mechanism. There's one. And there's the other. Okay. So they're now in place. Through the van at least. So I'll put that rubber grommet that clips back into the body of the van, the metal. I'll do that afterwards. That'll be probably one of the last things that I do. Okay, so I've cleaned up and re-greased these bits here. So now I'm going to be getting the cables, the new cables in place. Okay, that's both cables back in place and onto the sort of lugs on the connection to the gearbox. It's a little bit difficult to get them on there, to get some grips on there just to pop them back on, but that's all right. They went easily back into this bit here, which was quite difficult to get out originally. So they're in place. I just need to put this piece back on here now. This piece that's going back on here to hold the cables in place has got this kind of, I'm not sure whether it'll pick that up, but it's like a star thread or a star headed bolt to keep it in place. I've got quite a few Torx bits, but I've not got any sockets that fit those, so luckily I was able to get one that actually fitted, which was a normal socket, which is this one here, and I'll put on the description what size it is, just to loosen and tighten that one there. And once this is tightened up, that's it. Okay, there we go. We're ready to go back in the cab. Right, before I reconnect the cables to the gear mechanism, I'm just going to lock the gear lever into neutral. To do that, there's just a couple of clips here on the lower end of the shaft, and they just click into, there's 3 of these parts and they fit into these 3 gaps around here, and that's all you need to do just to lock it into neutral while you're refitting the cables. Okay, I'm just going to feed the cables back into the position in the gear mechanism. So this black one goes at the back here. Once it's in there, I'm just going to pop it on there just to hold it in place. Same with the side one as well. Just come up through there. There we go. And onto here. There we go. Right. Now, just going to get the silver retaining clips in place to hold the cables in. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so there we go. Got both cables in place on the lugs, and also both silver retaining clips in place down the bottom there. So it's just a matter now of bolting it back in place. There are 2, actually, just to mention, there are 2 rubber lugs at the bottom here which fit into these gaps in the metal dash, so they need to go slid back in there and then all bolted back into place. There's one bolt in, just into place, and the second bolt in there. There we go. So tighten those up now, then put the rubber grommet back into the floor completely, and then we'll run it through the gears, see how we get on. Right, I've just been for a little spin in the van and all is good. Second gear's just a little bit clunky still, but I can live with that. 256,000 miles on it. I don't think that's too much to worry about, but everything else is brilliant. Reverse just now is just brilliant, just goes straight in like silk. So, and first gear as well. So yeah, all gears brilliant. Just that second gear just got a tiny clunk in it going in, but I'm not too fussed about that. Everything is looking good. So all I've got to do now is put all the dash back in place, and I've got some sound deadening foam left over from the Campervan installation. So I think I'm going to put some foam around there and make it nice and quiet in here, and happy days, we're done. Alright, if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. Next bit of this is going to be the changing the gearbox oil. I've done it once before, it's quite a straightforward job, but if you want to see how that happens, please subscribe and hit the bell notification, and you'll get a notification when that video comes out. And that's me done then with the gear selection videos, and I'm happy with how they are now. So yeah, if you followed along or tried any of the things, then remember to give me a thumbs up, and I'll catch you again soon in another video. All right, cheers, bye.